Okay. Okay, good morning, friends. Yeah, broadcasting from the home studio today, and just a little chanting before our 8:30 hour rings us into class. And good to see everyone. Lori, Stephanie, Sam, thanks for checking in. And a little sound check here. So let me know if you're feeling the sound vibes okay on that. And Pranava, Pranavaha, chanting of Om. Yeah. Tasya Bhakcha Kaha Pranavaha Om Tasya Bhakcha Kaha Pranavaha Om Tasya Bhakcha Kaha Pranavaha Om Tajjapas Tad Artha Bhavana Om Tajjapas Tad Artha Bhavana Tajjapas Tad Artha Bhavanam Om Tasya Bhakcha Kaha Pranavaha Pranavaha Om Tajjapas Tad Artha Bhavanam Om Tataha Vyachak Chetana Dhigamo Vyantara Yabhavascha Om Tataha Vyachak Chetana Dhigamo Vyantara Yabhavascha Om Okay, friends. Namaste. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, thanks for the sound check. And good morning, Tammy, Chigeko, and others who are on the call. And if any of you are new here on the call, we do a little chai-in chat session. And then we get into our practice. We have asana planned, of course, and then our breathing practice, some pranayams, and some meditation. And I wanted to kind of begin to unravel this thing in the Yoga Sutras that's called Pranava. Pranava is the word, and we know this as Om. Good morning, Cynthia. Great to see you, Karen, as well. Good morning, friends. And Pranavaha is described as Om, and there's some sutras, some yoga sutras in the Patanjali thing. Good morning, Megan. That discuss Pranava, that discuss Om in a really significant way. And I really wanted to kind of unravel kind of its essence, if you will, some of its understandings and how it's useful in our sadhana, in our practice. First of all, there's like this cosmic architecture that's inside of our head, and it's in the shape of a triangle, and it sits about an inch, down from the very top of our head. And each point on that triangle is one of the three gunas. And so this may be a, more expanded, understanding. Good morning, Susan. But one of the three gunas. And so what's said is in, say, this thing called Mula Prakriti, or the unmanifest state before manifestation, the gunas are in this sense of balance. And then the primordial sound of Om begins to vibrate, and this balance of the gunas begins to move like this, and then it breaks, and then they interact. And that is said to be the beginning of time, if you will. That's a really significant idea, the beginning of time. And so it's the cosmic vibration that destabilizes, the gunas, and then creates the energy, the will energy for their interaction and for the creation of the universe to come into play. And that story I find just, magnificent, really, really significant. But within the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, there are three sutras in particular that discuss the process of the chanting, or the vibration, the universal vibration of Om. And the first one is Sutra 27 of Book 1, and it's Om Tasya Vakcha Kaha Pranavaha. And then, so the translation of that is Om is the word denoting Ishvara, or the divine. So it defines that Om is actually the divine itself. And then the next sutra is Om Tajtapas Tad Artha Bhavanam. And that sutra says the constant repetition of Om and meditation on its meaning are surrender to the divine. And then the last one, Sutra 29, so they're in a row, 27, 28, 9 of Book 1. Om Tata Prachak Chaitana Digamo Vyantara Abhavascha. From this practice, all the obstacles disappear, and simultaneously dawns knowledge of the inner self. Three sutras, the chanting of Om to the knowledge of the inner self. And it's really fascinating. Over the years of my sadhana practice, one of the things that I've discovered is that vibration is a mechanism that purifies prana. And we talk about prana a lot, and can read about it, you can feel it, right? But within the strata of our pranic body, there are different gradations of its purification, if you will. And one way that I look at this is like if you think about fuel, or gasoline for your car. So like the prana, say, that we experience in our asana practice, or experience, say, in our shavasana, after our asana, our shavasana, corpse pose, is like unleaded gasoline that that you pump at the tank. But then you add vibration and om over an extended period of time. That gasoline turns into jet fuel and is equally powerful. And that is the difference that our pranayama practice and our meditation practice has on prana, on life force energy. It takes it from a very gross state and refines its power, refines its force with inside of us. And so the vibration is the one mechanism that purifies prana. Like what we're doing with our asana practice, we're squeezing and squishing and pulling the body, right? We're beginning to stimulate the 5 pranavayus, but within the structure of all that is our energy body. And the one way, almost like the only way that we can access that is through pranayama and vibration. That's how it's purified. And so we'll kind of work with that in a more visceral way today. And so I'll kind of slip back to my seat. Thanks for joining me again. I'm broadcasting from the home studio, and probably do a little more of this on occasion coming up. But anyway, slip back and we'll do some oming, and we'll do some good asana and some pranayama, some other sadhanas today, other experiences. And just settle in to your seated position. So I'll settle into mine, take another little sip of my chai on this wonderfully cold Colorado morning that we're having. And we'll begin by the squeeze box, the Shruti box here. Om Tat Shat Artha Bhavanam. Chanting of Om and its meditation on the meaning or surrender to the divine. So just breathe into the belly and let your body relax. The body. Prithvi Sharira, the earth body. It's really just a rental, for this lifetime. And the earth really owns the body. And then we'll chant a couple of ohms and we'll do some humming. Just to add some vibration into our system and its method of purification. It's kind of like taking water and adding heat and turning it into steam. And that heat is the tapas of our practice, and the steam is purified prana. Exhale the breath completely, and then take a nice big inhale. Om. And again, another big inhale. Om. One more. And then I just want us to hum the M sound here. And obviously just find your own pace with that. But exhaling, if you want, inhaling, we'll do it together. Just continue. Pranava, the chanting of the primordial sound of Ishvara, of the divine, of Om. Okay, friends, and just slip off your seated position, if you like, and just do kind of our little normal warm up here. Interlace the fingers here, extend the palms out. Reach through the root of the index finger here. Press, and then exhale. You're breathing. Then inhale, both the hands and arms over the head. Just reach real tall. Just stay with the breath here. And then a nice big inhale. Next, we'll slowly lower the hands and arms, rounding the low back here, rocking back on the sacrum. And then gently inhale, float the hands and arms back up. One of the understandings is that we can always synchronize our movement with breath, but we can add also an inner sound value as we do this. And so we'll explore that here as we float the hands and arms up, tone inside the mind the sound of so. And then as you exhale, the sound of hung. So hung. One of the interesting things of working with sound and vibration and mantra is that there are 4 different levels of sound and vibration. And of course, the most gross level is the one that you voice. And the more subtle sounds are the ones that exist in the mind. Inhaling so, Exhaling hung in the mind. One more, we'll meet at the top. And exhale, put the hands and arms shoulder height here. Let the right palm turn up, the left palm turn down, and then we'll just twist the arms here. And then I'll invite one to continue the movement of breath and inner mantra of So Hung. Yeah, and then a little stir of the wrists here, a little swimming motion of the arms. Mm-hmm. And then extend the palms out, fingers spread wide. And then the fingertips point down, and big inhale and exhale. The right arm under the left, forms, palms come together, elbows out and up, shoulder blades down the back, and give the head a little bit of a stir here. And then inhale, sweep hands and arms open. So hung, switching it out. So left arm under the right. Just bringing some concentration into the practice here. Yep. Continuing the mantra if you choose. It may come and go, and that's okay. Inhale, float, hands and arms wide. Exhale behind you, and it's a way that we can just pivot point back to. So fingers interlace here, the head of the arm bones draw back. It immediately brings stillness into my mind, personally. And then soften the grip of the hands here, and then extend this right arm out. Left palm turns up, and float arm up. Exhale over the head, just reach. Lengthen side bodies here. One might even say every time we chant Om, it's like the reenactment of the energy of creation, if you will, of the entire universe. And gently release down on a cosmic scale that's obviously immeasurable. We'll switch this out. I mean, if it's said that vibration precedes physical form, just imagine the entire size of the created universe and all the vibration that preceded all the form. And then inhale, arms up. So, and then twisting, exhale, this left hand on the outside of that right knee, and sit nice and tall here. Breathe deeply. Yeah, a nice big inhale and exhale, gently release the twist here, and I'll put hands and arms wide. Switching. They also said that the language of Sanskrit has come from the mantra of Om, where the first derivatives of Om were the vowel sounds. Maybe those are the most subtle vibrations and high-powered vibrations, and then the consonants and the rest came subsequent to that. And gently release here. And then we'll come off of our seated position, make our way to tabletop here, and then just begin to circle the hips and got a little warm. We're definitely going to add some warmth into our practice today. Kind of warm up deep into the core, kind of interacting with, obviously the cold in our atmosphere. Trying to work with that in our bodies. A little circling of the hips, a little movement here. It might feel good that way. Yep. Just going to unravel here a little bit. Yeah. And then from this position, let's meet in puppy pose. So just sink the heart here, the hips stay lifted. Breathe deeply. And again, one is invited to just continue the chanting of So Hum with the breath. Of course, in the mind. And then gently round up into a tabletop position, and we'll extend the right leg behind us. Tuck the back toes under on the mat. So a little stretch in the bottom of the foot, calf and Achilles. Let that wake up a little bit. And then float the right leg here, hip height, and the left arm shoulder height, and really reach this left arm forward, leg back, big inhale, and exhale, rounding, so squeezing knee and elbow towards one another. Then inhale, sweep open, and exhale, round. And then one more time, inhale, sweep open, and exhale, round. And then gently release, and we'll switch. So extend the left leg behind you, toes hook under on the mat here. Kind of feeling into the calf and Achilles that way. Loveliness. And then float left leg, right arm here. And again, inhale the breath. So exhale, round hum. And just continue. Inhale, sweep open. Rounding. And one more of these. Inhale, open. So round. And gently release to neutral position here. And we'll meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana. So down dog. Breathe deeply. And if you like, just continuing the subtle sound of So Hum, translated as I am that. Yeah. I'm grounding the roots of the fingers, triceps straight towards the earth here. Send the hips up and back. Breathe very deeply. And then lift the heels here. Heels lift. Heart sinks, deeply sinks. And then put a little bend in the knees and sink the heart even further. Take the belly button to the spine here. Feel into that. Kind of sustain this depth of the form and the steepness of the, say, back and pelvis. And with an inhale, straighten the legs and release the heels, exhaling towards the earth. Breathe deeply. And then put a little bend in the knees. We'll meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat. So gently walk the feet to the top of the mat. Little space in between the feet. The weight eventually kind of pivots into the big toe mounts here of the feet. Feeling that. You can give the head a little bit of a stir. Yes and no. And even interlacing the opposite elbows here. A little traction for the spine. Sway the torso. Even if you like. It's helpful. Stay with the breath. Oh, yeah. And then we'll meet in Ardha Uttanasana. So half lift your hands mid-shins. Lengthen from tail to crown. Feel that? And then take a nice big inhale. Then exhale, lengthen out as you fall down. Chin tucks, hands release at the bottom. Yep. And then again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Yeah. And then one more of these. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, and put a little bit of knees, and then send the left leg back into a lunge. And we'll start in crescent here. So bring the torso up. Take a minute. Kind of engage the back leg quad here. Feel into that. Let the hands and arms float over the head. Reach real tall. Maybe put a little pulsing action into this front leg knee, the right knee. Feel into that. And sink maybe a little lower. And then again, lift the back heel completely and capture the left wrist with the right hand and then just kind of float over towards the right. Really engage the back leg quads. So allow that left hip flexor to open nicely. Yep. And then inhale, float to neutral. And then exhale, release the grip of the wrist here. Float the hands behind you. Give the shoulders a little bit of roll. And then interlace the hands behind you. And then just a lift of the shoulder girdle here. Stay with your breathing. Yep, really nice. And sink just a little lower. Bring the ribs to the thighs here. Keep engaging back leg. And then gently release the hands down and step back into a high plank push-up position. Nice pause here, friends. Breathe deeply. You may notice that my shoulders are stacked behind my wrist fairly significantly, and it just allows for a little flatter, rather, angle of the wrists. Yep. A little more supple that way for my wrists, that way versus shoulders over. And a little back. And then float the right leg hip height there. Breathe. Stay with the breath. And then take the leg higher and then bend the elbows a couple of inches and just sink and hold it. And then inhale, straighten the arms. And then exhale, knee to chest. Squeeze it in. And then inhale, leg behind you. Pause. Lift it higher. Bend elbows, sink. Hold it. Inhale, straighten arms. Exhale, knee to chest. Squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, release it down. And we'll switch. Stay with it. Breathe deeply here. Take that left leg higher. Bend the elbows, sink a couple of inches. Just hold it here. Inhale, straighten arms. Exhale, knee to chest. Squeeze. And again, inhale, leg behind you. Take the leg a little higher. Bend elbows, sink. Hold it. Straighten arms. Inhale, exhale, knee to chest. Squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, release it down. Nicely done. I know that's a lot. Knees to the earth. Oh yeah, belly all the way down, grounding for Bhujangasana, Cobra pose here. Feet, pelvis, hands, feel that. Then inhale, float torso, shoulders move away from the ears. Just stay with the breath. Oh yeah. And take a nice big inhale. And exhale, float torso and forehead down. And then inhale, float on up. Exhale, float down. And then one more of these. Inhale, float up, tuck the back toes under. And exhale, lift the hips back into down dog. Oh, yeah. Breathe deeply, friends. And again, just continue that rhythmic so hum in your mind. It may come and go. That's okay. Stay with the breath. And then put a little bend in the knees, left foot, left hand here. And then come on up. Vajrasana, we know this as our crescent pose, back heels lifting. Quad active, back leg. Float arms. And then just put a little pulsing action into this front leg knee. Loving into that. Oh, yeah. And then capture now the right wrist with the left hand. Lean over to the left and really lift the back heel, engage the quad. That creates so much space in the hip flexor. Breathe deeply. Oh, yeah. And then inhale, float hands and arms over the head. Exhale, sweep them behind you. Once again, give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then interlace hands behind you. Shoulder girdle lifts. Back leg quad firm. Breathe deeply here. So, and then sink a little lower. Ribs to thighs. Feel that. Body's an arrow. A big inhale. And exhale, release the hands down. Back foot steps to the top of the mat. Uttanasana here. Yeah, pausing. Nice, friends. Ooh. And then inhale, half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Yep, big inhale, exhale, sink again. Yep, squeeze torso towards the thighs. And again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then one more pause, halfway here, pause, a little bend the knees, and then we'll just flat back, get to standing elbows bend, reach hands and arms over the head, put a little sway in the body. Just breathe very deeply here. Oh yeah. Then a nice big inhale, exhale, hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale the breath. So, exhale, hinge at the hips, hung, folding forward, hands and arms over the head. Oh yeah. Breathe in. Go into that, and then gently release the grip of the hands here, and send now the right leg back into that lunge, and then float upper body and arms. So reach up again. Yeah, stay with the breath. A nice big inhale, and exhale, left hand, left waist here. Then inhale, reach right hand forward. We're going to twist to the left, so elbow on the outside and near side, sinking armpit to knee. And then the left hand covers the right hand. Can re-engage the back of the quad. And then take this left shoulder away from the left ear. And then some of you may want to open. And so reaching right hand earth, left hand stars, you choose. That's a lot. And then possibly drawing this left arm over the head towards the front. And just breathe here. Stay with the breath. Yep. And then a nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release the twist here. Hands plant, step back into high plank. I push up here once again. Oh, yeah. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale to the knees. All the way to the belly here. And then we'll come into what's called Salambhasana. We know this as locust pose. So bring the hands down by your side, the palms face down. We'll kind of progressively do this. First, the torso. So exhale the breath completely. Then inhale, float just the torso. Come on up. Kind of squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another. And just breathe here. Oh, yeah. A nice big inhale. And exhale, float down. Pause here for a moment. Then exhale, you're breathing. And then inhale, float the torso again. Squeeze shoulder blades. Breathe. And then gently release down. And then inhale, float torso and legs. So inhale, come on up. Legs lift, torso lifts. Stay with the breath. You can float the arms. Breathe here. Nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release down. Hands plant, tuck the back toes under. Inhale through high plank, high push up. And exhale down to hog. Oh, yeah. Put a little wiggle in the hips here. Stay with the breath. So hung. Nice, friends. Put a little bit in the knees. Right foot, right hand. And then float torso. And float arms here. When you're ready, stay with the breath. Oh, yeah. And then nice big inhale. And exhale, right hand, right waist. Inhale, left hand forward. Reach, reach, reach. And then twist to the right. Left elbow on the outside of near thigh, sinking armpit to knee. Right hand covers the left. Right shoulder away from the right ear. And we open up. Left hand earth, right hand to the sky. Stay with the breath. And then possibly the right arm over the head. And just breathe deeply. Nice. And a big inhale. And exhale, hand down, look down. Back foot steps to the top of the mat. Pausing here. Just breathe deeply, friends. And then inhale, half lift. A little bend in the knees. Cactus the arms flat back. Standing and reach real tall. And once again, give the body a little bit of a sway here. Little movement. Yeah. So nice. And then gently release the hands down by the sides here. Pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. Just nourish the body. The eyes can close if you wish. Just a little blow of my nose here. Neti. My neti pot. And then inhale, float hands and arms to the sky. And open the eyes here. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding. And then send the left leg back into the lunge. We'll pause here for a moment and then walk this right foot open to one little step, getting into this hip here, hands ground, inhale, breath. And then exhale, bend elbows, sink into that right hip. And then inhale, straighten the arms. We'll come out of it. And again, exhale, bend, sink. One more of these. Inhale, straighten arms. And exhale, sink and hold it here, maybe coming on even to the forearms. Stay with the breath. Really nice. And then balance on this left forearm and take the right hand to the sky. Feel that. Breathe in. Nice twist here. Great. And then a big inhale. And exhale, gently release that right hand down. Hand plants and step back into high plank once again here. High plank. Take a moment. Yep. Big inhale. Exhale to the knees. This time we'll extend both of our arms out in front of us long. So arms reach long. And then float the right arm and the left leg. The right arm on the left leg. Go into that. Breathe. Yep. And then gently release arm and leg down and switch. So float left arm and right leg. Breathe here. Stay with the breath. So nice. And then gently release down. Pause for a moment. Relax. Take a breath. And then exhale. You're breathing completely. And then inhale, float legs and torso and arms. Everything comes up. Stay with the breath. Yep. Breathe in. And then sweep the arms behind you and interlace fingers. Lift the legs, lift the torso. Breathe. Oh, yeah. And then gently release down, hands plant. Inhale through a high plank, high push up. And exhale, lift the hips back. Down dog. Breathe deeply, friends. So nice. Yep. So hum. Yep. Little bend of knees and left foot. Left hand here. Breathe. And then open this left foot to the left. Left hand on the inside of this left foot. Then take a nice big inhale. And exhale, bend elbows, sink. Yep. And then inhale, straighten arms. And then exhale, bend, sink. Inhale, straighten. Last time. Exhale, sink. And then coming onto the forearms here. Stay with the breath. Back leg quad is firm. Breathe in. Yep. And then grounding this right forearm and float the left hand to the sky. And just open up. Oh, yeah. Nice twist. Breathe here. And a big inhale. And exhale the hand down. Look down. Kind of inch this left foot back over in line with the hip. And then gently step the back foot to the top of the mat. Yeah, so hum. Nice. And then tone the core. Inhale, flat back all the way to standing reach. And then exhale, hands to prayer here at the heart. Take a moment. Yep. With the hands here at heart, we reflect on Sutra 28, Tajdapas Artha Bhavanam, which is the chanting of Om, represents the surrender to the divine. And so we'll chant two Oms together. Exhale your breathing and then inhale. Om. And again, inhale. One more, why not? Three's the charm. Inhale. Nice, friends. Gently release the hands down. Inhale, float hands and arms over the head. Here, one movement, one breath. I'll get us through this. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, send the right leg back into lunge. Inhale, float upper body, arms, reach here. And exhale, gently release all the way out of it. Hands plant, step back. High plank, high push-up. Inhale the breath. Exhale, 8 points bowing. Hips stay lifted. Knees, heart, and chin. Inhale, pull forward, cobra or upward facing dog, you choose. And exhale, lift the hips back into down dog. Little bend the knees, right foot steps, right hand. Then inhale, float upper body and arms. So back into crescent. And exhale, back foot steps, folding forward, Uttanasana. Then inhale, reach all the way to standing. It's called Urdhva Namaskar, upper salutation. And then exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale, breath. Exhale, float hands down by your sides. Then inhale, sweep hands and arms up, reach. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, send the left leg back into the lunge. Inhale, float upper body and arms, so reach. Exhale, gently float all the way out of it. Hands plant, step back, high plank, high push-up. Inhale, breath. Exhale, 8 points bowing. Inhale, pull forward, cobra up dog. And exhale, lift the hips, down dog. Yep. Left foot steps, left hand. Inhale, float upper body and arms. So just moving and breathing here, friends. And exhale, back foot steps, holding forward, Uttanasana. Then inhale, sweep all the way to standing, Urdhva Namaskar, asana. And exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale here at the heart. Exhale, float hands down by your sides. Last side here, inhale, float hands and arms over the head, reach full tall. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, right leg goes back now. Yep. And then inhale, float upper body and arms. Then exhale, gently release all the way down, hands plant, step back. I think I push up here, inhale, breath. Exhale, 8 points, Ashtanga Pranayama. Inhale, pull forward, cobra up dog. Again, you choose. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Nice. Right foot steps, right hand. Inhale, float upper body and arms to reach. And exhale, back foot steps, going forward, Uttanasana. Then inhale all the way to Urdhva Namaskar. So, hung. Hands to prayer. Take a moment there. Oh yeah, then toe heel the feet together. And I'll float hands and arms over the head, bend the knees. Utkatasana, chair pose. We know this as. Just stay with the breath. A little bounce in the legs. Keep the core active. Yeah, and then take a nice big inhale. And exhale, the hands behind you. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll here. Lift the elbows. Stay with the breath. Yep. Then exhale completely. And then inhale, sweep hands and arms over the head, straighten the legs. Come out of it. Exhale, bend knees, sink. Inhale, you're breathing. Exhale, elbows behind you. Then inhale, sweep arms up, straighten legs, reach. Exhale, bend, sink. Inhale, breath. Exhale, sweep arms behind you. Last time. Inhale, sweep all the way up. And exhale, bend knees, sink here. Just hang out. Put hands to prayer. And then we'll twist to the right. So left elbow on the outside of knee, thigh sinking armpit to knee. You contract the outside of the left hip back and the right shoulder away from the right ear. And possibly open arms and fly. So reaching left hand to the earth and the right hand to the sky. And just stay with the breath. Yep. Oh, yeah. And then take a nice big inhale. And exhale, hand down, look down. Then, back up into Utkatasana. Nice, put a little bounce in the legs here. Inhale, you're breathing. Exhale, hands to prayer. And then twist now to the left. So right elbow on the outside of near thigh. Track the outside of right hip back, left shoulder away from left ear. And open arms. So right hand earth, left hand stars. Breathe here, friends. Oh, yeah. And a nice big inhale. Exhale, hand down, look down. Then back up into Utkatasana. Oh, yeah. Then inhale, stand. Exhale, swan dive. I know it feels great to get out of that. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands. Jumper, step back, high plank, high push up here. Pause for a moment. Yep, and then inhale, upward facing dog. So, breathe deeply. Stay with the breath. And then lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Yep. Staying with the breath. Awesome enough. And then we'll take child's pose. So release the knees to the earth, the hips to the heels. And just relax here for a moment. The mantra of so hum eventually merges into the mantra of Om. Om exists in two places in the subtle body, the third eye, in this place called Hridayam, which is known as the cave of the yogi, the yogan. It's akin to Anahat chakra. Anahat means the unstruck sound. If you can contemplate that for a moment. And each of those places have revealed themselves to me. It's quite dynamic. And then we'll gently meet back into down dog, so tabletop. So exhale, hung. Yeah, Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1, right foot steps, right hand, left heel pivots down. Come to standing here. So Virabhadrasana 1. Reach hands and arms over the head. Yep, stay with the breath. Keep the core active. Back leg quad is firm. We know that. We can squeeze the inner thighs a little bit. And then you just kind of lean back into it. But, tuck the chin just a little and keep reaching through the tips of the fingers. So the shoulder girdles are encouraged to extend. And then take a nice big inhale. Exhale the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lengthen front spine, grow tall. Next, about torso on the inside, this right leg, hands and arms over the head, hung. So hung. Hung. Yeah. Exhale, you're breathing completely. And inhale, hands and arms over the head, reach real tall. And then exhale, hands to prayer. We know this as peace warrior stance. We'll come into modified warrior 3. So release the back heel, point the heel to the sky, step the foot in, and then put weight into this right leg, and then straighten that front leg and lift the back leg. Body down, leg up. Stay with the breath here. And then cactus the arms, love into the strength of the back body. And then bring hands to prayer onto the right ankle or the floor. Catch a wobble, forehead towards the shin, standing split. Feeling into that. And then a careful little bend in the stand leg knee. Release the back foot down. Inner foot, hands and arms over the head. Reach real tall. Stay with me here. And exhale, hands to the waist. And then inhale, straighten the front leg. And then exhale, pivot 180 degrees to the left to reset the stance. So you may be kind of facing away from me, but I'm with you here still. Hands and arms over the head. Reach real tall. Stay with the breath. Quad active, back leg. Yeah, really reaching. Nice big inhale. Exhale, hands behind you, interlace fingers. Inhale, lengthen front spine. And exhale, bow torso on the inside of the snow. Right leg, hands and arms and such over the head. Breathing. And then exhale the breath completely. Hung. Inhale, so hands and arms over the head. Exhale, hung to the heart. Then release the back heel here. Step the foot in, point the heel to the sky. That squares the hip. Then put weight into this left leg and straighten the back leg. Body down, leg up. Stay with your breathing. Cactus the arms. Stay with the breath. And then hinging at the hips, folding forward. Hands to left ankle, floor. Catch wobble, forehead towards the shin. Standing split. And then a careful bend in the standing leg knee here. Release the back foot down. Inhale, float hands and arms over the head, reach real tall. And then exhale, hands to the waist. Inhale, straighten the front leg and pivot to the right, warrior two position. Now, warrior two position. So stance is a little longer. The hips are now open. As we know, stay with the breath. I'm going to adjust my position a little bit so I can face y'all. And then hands and arms float. Breathe deep here and sink lower. Yeah, stay with the breath. And extended side angle, so Parsvakonasana, right forearm, right thigh, left arm over the head. Stay with the breath. Heart spins open. Right hand reaches earth, sink a little deeper here. Yeah, stay with the breath. And then bring this left hand behind you onto the sacrum first. Just open the heart. And then possibly bind this out, so bring the right arm underneath you. And then left arm behind you. Open up the heart here. And then possibly be really mindful here. Straighten the front leg. So this is called Baddha Trikonasana, down triangle. Stay with the breath. Yeah, and then release the grip of the hands. Triangle formal. So we're here. Keep opening. Breathe deeply. And then Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So bend the front leg knee. Take this left hand to the sacrum. Step the back foot in. Plant the front hand in front of the front foot. Blocks can be helpful here. And then just straighten the front leg and lift the back leg. Yeah, and then take this left arm to the sky. Some of you may want to bend this left knee and capture the foot or ankle, like so. Breathe deeply here. Asana. And then careful bend in the knee. Let the stand leg release the back foot all the way down into warrior two. Stay with the breath. So allow the mind to stay, in concentration. Inhale, you're breathing. Exhale, hands to the waist. Straighten the front leg, and then exhale, pivot. Right foot turns in, or left foot turns in. Other foot turns out. So warrior two. Going the other way, hands and arms. Reach shoulder height. And sink real low. And then extend this angle. So left forearm, left thigh. Right arm over the head and just reach. Breathe very deeply. Heart spins open. So hung. And then left arm straighten. Sink here. Breathe deeply. And then draw the right arm to the sacrum. Heart spins open. Feel that for a moment. And then bind her out. Work with what you got on that one. And then if you're ready, straighten that front leg. Baddha Trikonasana. Down triangle. Heart keeps opening. And then ground the left hand earth. Right hand to the sky. Stay with the breath. Oh yeah. And then Ardha Chandrasana. Bend front leg knee. Right hand to the sacrum. Step the back foot in. Plant the front hand in front of the front foot. Straighten this front leg. Lift the back leg. Take the right arm to the sky. So Ardha Chandrasana, and maybe bend if you want this right knee. Capture foot or ankle. Stay with the breath. Breathe in. Oh yeah. And then gently bend, standing leg knee. Release the back foot down. Warrior two stance. Carefully. Yeah, nice big inhale. Exhale, hands to the waist. And straighten this front leg. Pivot the left foot in. So Prasarita. Padottanasana. Wide-legged angle forward fold. Inhale the breath. And exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. The hands release. The head releases as you chant hung. So hung. Let the weight work into the big toe mounds or so. Yeah. And then bend both knees here. Sink into the hips a little bit. Maybe crawl the hands out in front of you long. Sink the heart. It's always medicine for that. And then we'll crawl the hands over to the right side. They call this, Skandasana or something. Like so. Yeah, and just sink into that. And then you may even draw the torso on the inside, and you can even bind it out. That's how that's done. Breathe. And then gently release, and then we'll just walk the hands over to the other side. I lift the heel of that, I guess, your left foot, and let this other one release. So from here, and then just sink the torso on the inside of this, and then possibly you can bind it out. We'll see, or not. Hit the singing bowl with the chai cup. Breathe in. Ooh, and then just gently release the grip of the hands here, and then straighten back into neutral position. And then a little twist here. So let the right hand draw under the face, and then in will float the left hand to the sky. Breathe here. Yep. And gently release and switch. Float this right hand. Big inhale and exhale. Gently release. Inhale, breath. And exhale, hands to waist. Little bend the knees. Inhale, flat back to standing. Nicely done. And just step to the top of the mat here. Take a moment. I'm going to do a little bit of repair work over here. Okay, good enough. All right, so put the weight into the right leg, and then float the left foot above the right knee, a figure 4, hands to prayer. And then sink into standing leg knee. Yeah, keep the toes spread of this left foot. And then maybe we can reach the earth here. Loving into that left hip. Breathe here. And then come up halfway, and then take the left elbow into the instep of the left foot, a twist to the right. Oh yeah. And then gently the hands release down, and the leg floats. Come to a balancing position here. Stay with the breath. And then we'll open up into a tree position, which is called Vrikshasana. Vrikshasana, hands to prayer. And then just really squeeze the foot into the thigh back. And then if you want, you can open the arms to the sky. Breathe here. And then gently hands to prayer. Release the legs slowly down. Yeah, take a moment, a little wiggle. Oh yeah. And then we'll move the weight into this now left leg. And maybe float both legs and the arms at the same time. And then hands to prayer. And we're in this figure 4 position, sinking into the right hip. Loving that. Breathe. Maybe hands to the earth. That feels right. Stay with the breath. And then inhale to neutral, and then the right elbow into the right instep. Work with what you got on that one, little twist. Breathe in. And then gently release the hands down and the leg up. Find your balance. And then tree pose, foot pushes into inner thigh. That stand leg straightens so that contact pressure is established. Arms at prayer first. And then hands and arms over the head, reach. Oh yeah. And gently hands back to prayer. Release the leg. Slowly down. Awesome enough, friends. Let the feet float open here. Heels in, toes out. And then we'll just sway your way down into Malasana. Just sway on the way down. Yeah. Ooh. And then twisting, right hand earth, left hand stars, reaching. And then binding here again. Squeeze. Yup. And then neutral. And then reaching again. Left hand earth, right hand stars. Open up. Squeeze. Bind it out. Breathe here. And then gently to neutral. Ooh. And then hands behind you, hips release. And then take a moment here. Hips go through a lot in yoga. Yes, they do. And we'll just come into a sweet little forward fold. Paschimottanasana, extend the legs out. Hands ground under the shoulders. Core is active. Legs are active. Reach to the sky. Toes spread. Exhale. Hinging at the hips just a quarter of the way down. Release the hands to the shins. And instead of like rounding, let the action be up. So really feel like there's like integrity in the length of the spine. We kind of grab the hands and pull isometrically the legs into the pelvis as we place in the mind, so hung, so hung. And then gently round here. Breathe into the belly. I did daily japa for about 10 years. And then one day, things just started to sparkle inside. It was like a magic wand was being waved over my body every time I practice now. It's enough to kind of keep you coming back. And gently walk the hands back up here. I'm going to spin around. We'll meet on our backs here. So just use your core. Gently just come on down onto the back. Hands and arms long over the head. So nice full body stretch. Yeah, that's good. And then hug the knees into the chest. Give them a little squeeze. Little rock side to side. And then a supine twist here. So ground the feet firm. Shift the hips to the right and the knees to the left. Arms are at a T or a cactus position. And we're going to kind of create a more creative form of this here this morning. So just take a moment, let this integrate for a sec. Whew. So bend now the left knee and work the leg back onto your mat so you can capture the left foot with the right hand. And then lift the right knee and capture now the right leg with the right hand and possibly straighten that right leg. Just breathe here. Keep opening this right shoulder. Stay with the breath. And then gently relax all the way out of this. We'll come back to a neutral position. Hope that worked for y'all. And then shift now the hips to the left and the knees to the right to start. So just a normalized supine twist here. Arms that are T or cactus position. Mm-hmm. And then bend now the right knee and move the right leg back onto your mat and capture the right foot with the left hand. Squeeze the quad. And then straighten now this left leg. So lift the knee a little higher. And now you might be able to see what I'm doing with this leg if you want. And just breathe here. Stay with the breath. It's a biggie. Kind of a twister. And then gently release the legs and things. Hug the knees back into the chest. You can rock side to side. And then we'll come into our inversion Viparita Karani Mudra. The feet ground, or rather the hands ground, hands ground. Feet lift, hips lift. So half of a shoulder stand. The body is in a V shape. And it's very specific. It's Viparita Karani Mudra. So the hips are released into the hands, and you feel pressure, say, in the elbows, upper arms, shoulder girdle. Neck is in natural curve, so chin lifts a little bit. Eyes can close. And settle in here. So hung, so hung. Taking water and turn it into a gaseous vapor. Taking gasoline and turning it into jet fuel. And that is the inner experience when your prana gets purified. Roive. And gently we'll begin to release here, hips from the hands down, kind of like air brakes, hips flow gently down. And squeeze in. Here. So our pre-Shavasana breath retention practice. So extend the legs out long, feet roll open here, palms turn up at your sides. Exhale your breath completely and then take a big inhale. Hold the breath in. And then let out just half of your air and hold the breath. And then release the rest of your breath. And then if you're really subtle, the next breaths, you're just breathing in prana. We'll do one more of that. We'll pooch out the belly, then exhale out half of the breath again, kind of a thing. Exhale your breathing completely. Big inhale. Hold the breath in. Pooch out the belly. Exhale half of the breath. Exhale the rest. Breathe into the belly. Purified prawn, friends. Just carry this right into Shavasana. Get comfortable in any way that's suitable for you. The sun is shining here. Change that a little bit. Sorry. Settle in here. You can dream of Om. Just awakening into awareness. And let your breathing gently extend here. And allow the body to begin to move some, and a little stretch at some point. We'll end up on the left side of the body. And then gently make your way back into a seated position here and take a minute and establish the comfortable asana. And for those who may be newer on the stream, we'll have another solid 20 minutes or more of practice. We'll do some pranayams and then our meditation practice. And just kind of settle in and get comfortable. One of the mechanisms to be able to develop the capacity to feel a higher vibratory quality of the universe and of your prana is through pranayama. These are the gateways into the resonant qualities of what's happening in Hridayam, the vibration of Om, and what's also happening in Agni Chakra, the third eye, which is also the vibration of Om. One of the key practices for this is Nadi Shodhan. And we know this as nerve cleansing practice, also in our vernacular, alternate nostril breathing. What happens with this practice is Ida, which is the female channel, and she exits out the left nostril, and Pingala, the male channel, exiting out the right nostril, are purified by their practice. Thus opens the free flow of the cosmic energies that ultimately support the vitality of the central body channel, which is called Sushumna Nadi. And so we'll begin with rounds of Nadi Shodhan. If this practice is newer for you, I'll teach it, and then we'll just continue it together. How it's done is the right hand, the index finger and the middle finger bend into the palm of the hand, and then the thumb and the ring finger are released, and then the hand is brought to the face. The face is never turned towards the hand. The elbow lifts, and then gently just close the right nostril with the thumb, and with the left, and inhaling the full yogic breath through the left nostril. So belly expands, ribs expand, chest lifts and expands. Get to the top of that breath, and then lift the thumb, take the ring finger and close the left nostril, and exhale through the right nostril. And then gently, again, a full yogic breath, belly expands, ribs, chest. Inhaling through right nostril. Ring finger lifts, thumb closes, right nostril. When you're ready, exhale through the left nostril. It constitutes one round. If you ever get lost in this practice, know that you can just switch the fingers at the top of any inhalation, and that'll set the practice right. And just continue the practice. Nadi Shodhan. The eyes can roll up in this practice, and you can imagine lifting the breath into the third eye chakra, because both of these subtle body channels arc through the center of the third eye. And we'll just continue as time permits, doing a number of rounds of the practice. And just kind of settle in, get comfortable. Nadi Shodan is a beginning, intermediate, and also advanced practice. All one has to do to change the quality of the practice is to slow it down and make it more subtle. That makes it more advanced. When you do this, eventually one can distinguish between the air that's coming in and the prana that you're working with. The breath within the breath. So hum. The mantras, they put a signature on each one of the components of prana. That signature being the vibration of the universe. Eventually, you come to know and experience yourself as the universe. So hum. And that signature just grows in its quality, its temperament, its power, and its vitality. And so cycle through wherever you are. Complete the round that you're on by exhaling out the left nostril. Keep the eyes closed here. There are three great gateways, four gateways to opening into the cosmic being. The first is through the pelvic floor. The second is through Hridayam, which is right in the center of your chest, behind the very bottom part of your sternum, about 3 finger widths deep. The third eye chakra, which is about 4 finger widths deep inside the brain from the level of the eyebrows. The pelvic floor, its location is the tip of the coccyx in between the sits bones. And then the crown of the head, which is the tuffet, the very tip top of the crown. The pelvic floor ignites the jet fuel. The heart is the cosmic self. The forehead is the cosmic vision. And the crown of the head is the transcendental universe. Select one that you choose to focus on. The energy of spirit in the pelvic floor, the presence of beingness in the heart, the transcendental vision of all knowledge in the third eye, in the universal being in the crown of the head. Whatever you select, intone the primordial sound of the Pranava, of Om as you inhale, and also Om as you exhale. You're guided that your concentration is precise. It's precision and focus, acute. And within that, there's a supreme sense of ease. The yogis call it vairagya, dispassion. So we take the more rajasic nature of concentration and turn it into the sattvic being, into the pure minded being. Om as the subtle breath is breathed in, and Om as the subtle breath is breathed out, concentrating in one of the four locations. The purpose here is to give the being a transcendental temperament. Give the being a transcendental temperament. And very gently let the mantra of Om subside. And then allow your awareness to be guided towards an all-pervasive nature. Spatially, you may be a witness to the area that surrounds the body. It can be universalized to be the perceptive quality of the entire earth. You can enter into the galactic regions as well. Then one is encouraged to enter into the very edge of time and space itself, the event horizon. And then just step into the paragate, step into the beyond. Gate gate parasangate swaha, the great and beyond. And just place the hands flat against the bottom part of the sternum, the chest. And we'll chant 3 ohms here together. So exhale, you're breathing and inhaling. Again, another nice big inhale. One more here, inhaling. And then hands to prayer. Just feeling that sense of pranidhanat, a sense of surrender to the divine. The bhavanam, the entering into the bhav of the great cosmic being through the quality of surrender and chanting the pranava, the mantra of Om. Namaste, friends. Ooh. All right. Whew. So thank you everyone for joining. The time for me just went so quickly today. I don't really even know what happened the last 2 hours. But here we are, and a lot of oming and a lot of vibration. And I think that's what happens is it becomes very, very timeless in its nature. And it's a great practice as one, hopefully you were able to unravel. You're very welcome, Valerie. Very to unravel the working with asana, with the mantra of Soham, and then just carrying that inner quality significantly. You're welcome, Stephanie, into the inner field of our being. And you're welcome, Tammy. Namaste. And it's really a powerful set of practices when we're working at the atomic level of our pranic being. You're very welcome, Megan. And so, thanks, friends. Yeah, just a little shout out for all the love being thrown around, and thanks so much, Crystal. Remember the Venmo thing, friends, if you can. Shigeko, namaste, and always, always, always love, peace. All right. Thank you so much. Love to you. All right. Bye, everyone.